Hey guys, this is Craig from the Casual DM, and this video is pretty much just going to be about like why I DM and pretty much what got me into it. Just kind of my story. I remember when I was like 14, I played what's called GURPS with my friend and his family, and that game was actually pretty cool when I was a kid. I mean, I don't think I'll ever play it again, but you know, I still have love for it because it was my first one. But a couple years down the line, after a while, I just decided that I wanted to try out D&D because I always heard a lot about it. I never actually got a chance to try D&D as my first one after GURPS. I actually was looking around online and trying to find something cheap and fun. And while looking up D&D, I found stuff about Pathfinder. You know, bought this big fat book. I found it on, I believe, Amazon for like $28 or something like that. It was a really good deal. So I went ahead and picked that up, and it was about a year until I found a group to play that with. I actually, on Facebook, I just randomly hit up some guy I kind of knew. He more along the lines, we had similar friends, and I found out that he was really big into D&D, and he's been wanting to play with a group. So I got together with him and my sister's boyfriend and another guy that my buddy Terry worked with. And we had a small group, and my buddy Terry actually ran the group for a while. He was okay at it, but he wasn't all that amazing. Like, he was that kind of guy that was like, okay, you just got off a boat and now you're in the tavern, what do you do? And then we just kind of winged it. But so that was fun. It got me into the system and all that. But just after a while, it just got stale and we stopped playing. We thought it was just because we maybe didn't like the game as much as we thought we would or something like that. But after about another year or so, I got interested again. I was like, I got that itch. And I was like, man, I gotta play me a tabletop game. So I hit him back up, and we got a group together, and I decided that I was going to DM this time. So I started looking into it. I read the book front to back. I looked up a lot of videos. The first person I stumbled upon on accident was Matt. And then after that, I somehow got to Dawn Forgecast, and I watched like a whole bunch of Dawn Forgecast videos, and then I refound Matt after a while because I forgot his channel name. I couldn't remember what video it was that I watched, but I just remembered what he looked like. So I kind of like typed in DM tips or something like that, and just like kind of scrolled through like page after page until I was like, oh yeah, that's the guy. And then I started watching his videos back to back, and I just started becoming part of the community and finding a whole bunch of people. My first game went actually very well because of the fact that I watched all these videos and I watched other people play. I just kind of got a feel for it. The way I run my games pretty much is like, I kind of run it like a vague book. I don't just like throw people into a situation and say, what do you want to do? You know, I mean, I'm not saying that's bad. I don't DM that way. I write up like a page or two, like I take a notebook and I just keep writing until I'm like, okay, this is too much content. And then I stop. And then that's pretty much what we work with. My dog's crying, so it's kind of hard for me to keep my train of thought going. But yeah, back to when I first started, I can say that, you know, one of the biggest things was this right here, this page right here. That is intimidating. That's scary, especially seeing that, you know, the book, you know, that's thicker than some math books I remember from middle school. But, you know, after you get into it, you just get used to it. You're like, okay, I know how this works now. It's pretty simple. It's simple to explain to somebody, but it's definitely not simple to just jump into. I've explained it to a couple other people, and they're pretty comfortable with the system. You know, there's still some things they need to work out, and there's definitely things I need to work out. I'm still pretty new to the system, in my opinion, but I'm the GM that, you know, rules are just there to make the game easier for me. So, you know, like, I bought this. I love this thing, GM screen, but these rules inside here, I went over them when I first bought it, just because I was like, oh, that's really nice. But the main reason I use it is so that I can do this, so I can be behind you. That's the main reason I got it, and because, you know, I love the way it looks. I want to collect a couple other Pathfinder books just for the fact of saying I own them. You know, I could just as easily get like the PDF versions, and I believe they're cheaper. I'm not sure. I would think they would be, but I want the physical copies because I just want to have a bookshelf and be like, haha, I got these books. I'm that way with real books too. A lot of people say that a Kindle would be nice for me to invest in because they put out a lot of free books every now and then, and then you get books really cheap. I'm just like, if I really like a book, then I want to own it. You know, like, I got my Dark Elf series over there on the shelf over here. You can't see it from here. I don't really feel like moving my webcam. But, oh, actually, wait, no. It's above me, actually, so that'd be really hard to show you. And then I got my Game of Thrones books up there. I have not read them yet. I started reading the first one, but it was kind of intimidating. There's a lot of information taken all at once. Every chapter is about a different character, and I'm just like, whoa. You know, and I was trying to read that as soon as I got back into reading, because I stopped reading when I was like 15. I just couldn't find any books that I liked, and I was really big into video games, and books were kind of getting in the way of me playing video games, and now I've gotten kind of over video games. I play them every once in a blue moon now, even though I still love video games. But now I just like read books on my free time, and internet still takes up like a majority of my life. It always has. Ever since I was like 12 and my dad gave me his old laptop, I was like, this is it. This is my life. But I can say that I started GMing because I had to. Just like a lot of GMs can say, you know, I had to, you know, no one else wanted to do it, and I just stepped up to the plate. After I got into it and I found out there was like different ways to do it instead of just saying, you're in a tavern, what do you want to do? And then I just have to like go with it. Because that's boring to me because I just don't like it. But I found, like, I don't know why it didn't cross my mind before that I could do this, but I found out that I could pretty much just write a story. Excuse me. Say tacos, so got a little back up. Coming back up. But, yeah, so I found out that I could pretty much just make up a story, and then they can just be the characters in the story, and I can see how they interact, and it's just really cool. I really love how much my character, like, my players get into character. Like, I love it. Even the ones that aren't that good at it, they really try. They really, really try. Which is good enough for me, you know? You don't have to be an actor to enjoy this game or to have other people enjoy the game with you. But some people get really into it, and I love it. But, like, my buddy Terry and my buddy Matt are by far my best players as far as role-playing goes. Terry's by far my best player in every aspect, but that's because he's really into the game. I remember one time, my first session actually, I had them come to this city, this large trade city called Farseek, which is pretty much where my whole world kind of spawned from. I was thinking about making another video about like my ideas on world building, so I'll just keep that for the other video. But they come to this big city, and they think they're there to stop the thieves from attacking caravans along the trade routes. But once they enter the city, like everything, it's almost as if they were like in ecstasy. All smells were amazing. All the wares that people were selling just looked great. And, you know, it just felt like this awesome place to be. And they go to the leader of the city to kind of, you know, because they got this note from him. So they go to talk to him about the mission and all that and kind of get information about it. And when they do, the guy like invites them to have dinner with him, and then he says, "You can go ahead and rest in my guest room, and you'll start in the morning." So they do, you know, they have dinner and then they go and rest. And I actually had the leader of the city sneak into their room at night and kind of wake them up. And he was like, "There's no bandits on the trails," or well, at least that's not the mission, you know. More likely there is bandits on that trail, but that's not why he has them there. He has guards for that. But so my buddy Terry, he's playing like a fighter. I want to say Nagaji is the name of the race. They're like reptilian people. And his background story is that he used to be like a slave, and he's lived a really hard life. So like his character's good, but I want to say that he picked the alignment neutral good, because he doesn't really involve himself in anything, but overall his views are good. But you know, the leader told him that this city was under a trance. Like no one could leave the city. Everyone just wanted to stay in the city for whatever reason. They just wanted to stay in the city. And so Terry has his character grab up the dude by the neck and slam him against the wall, and he's like, you've damned us to this city, you know, like we're gonna have to stay here now too. And you know, he's like, me and my friends, you know, we're gonna die in this city as well. Why would you do that to someone else? And then the guy like starts apologizing and says that, you know, he has to do the best for his people and all that. So he kind of lets him down, and he realizes, you know, he's only doing the same he would do. So I just thought that was an awesome moment of role playing. I don't know. I guess you'd have to be there to really understand it. And another one of my players, Matt, his character is just great. His character is so great. He's a dwarf alchemist, and pretty much like a bad experiment went on one day, or like just the fact that he messes with chemicals all day, the fumes kind of got to his head. So he's not right in the head at all. Like if he has a hard time explaining or pronouncing something, he'll give it his own name. So my buddy Terry, his character's name is like Marquisheth or something like that. I even have a hard time saying that. Like I just call him Mark. I'm like, screw it. I'm not saying that every single time. So my buddy, and his character's name is way complicated. It is Dahlgren, Alchemist Extraordinaire, all one word, the third. That is his full name. And he makes sure everybody knows that that's his full name. But he calls the other character Kitty. That's what he calls him. He calls him Kitty. And there's this big brute guy that showed him to the room and all that. Like he was the leader of the city's like right-hand man, the house Carl or whatever you want to call it. And he was just this huge lumbering man. Like his fingers were the size of freaking most people's wrists. And so he had his character swinging off the dude's hand. And the dude was just like, whatever, you know, like I'm just doing my job. And he's sitting there swinging off his hand. I've definitely trailed off here, haven't I? Making y'all watch me talk about stupid stuff. But, I don't think I missed anything. I can't think of anything else to say, so hope you enjoyed my video, and hope you enjoyed me just talking about nonsense, and have a good one. Happy gaming.